ATRT squad reporting in. No sign of separatist activity.
Affirmative, sir.
Hi and welcome to the Rogues Clothes Rubber channel. Today we're going to be making upper armour pieces, so see how I made these wonderful pieces in the rest of the video, and remember to stay to the very end if you want to find out about the colour and the paint that I'm using for the Sergeant Green. So let's get started. Right, so here are those pieces for the upper arm in close-up. As you can see, there's a lot of flashing here which needs to be cut off, even at the bottom. This one, no. Yeah, no, there we go. This is the opposite one. Again, piece that needs to be straightened up and cut off. It looks like the guy who sold it to me was trying to fix some damage that was done or didn't make properly with a horrible piece there. You can see where he's resanded it down, so that all has to be reshaped as well. They're not too bad. It's a little bit off on both of them, but should be okay. And the focus, there you go. These are the back pieces. Again, there's a lot that needs to be trimmed off these to try to straighten them up. And the same with this one. There's a lot in this one. You can see. And then we will start to put them together. What I'm also going to do today is, I said in my last video that I needed to trim the thigh pieces down from the bottom a little bit, just a little bit, to help with the knee guards. As you can see, I'm just giving it a bit more flatter thing. I can see now why the 501st members do this on their armour. I couldn't figure it out, but now I know why. You do need it for your thigh pieces, unless you've got really long thighs, which I don't, or maybe I do, but these pieces are just not made for me, so you're gonna have to work it out which is going to be good for you. So that's going to be on both leg pieces. Yeah, that's going to be on both leg pieces I'm going to do. And then I've decided also on the cod piece to trim a little bit extra bit off as well, because they were catching in the top of the thighs. So they're going to be trimmed down at the same time that I am cutting this out. Okay, so let's get to it. Right, okay, so after I always do my sanding and cutting, I always go and have a shower, because I don't want that fiberglass dust on me. So I want to make sure I always get everything washed off and cleaned, and then I clean the clothes that I was wearing. As I said, you don't really want to have fiberglass dust getting into your lungs. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in now. I'm going to show you the pieces now that they've been sanded down and cut, and show you the problems we might have and how we're going to fix them. Okay, so let's go and have a look in. Right, so here's the pieces. As I said, all cut out and sanded and all misshaped as they are. Okay, so I'm going to go over again why people don't like you to buy fiberglass. Okay, because one, it's a hell of a lot of work. Two, you can't be guaranteed the quality, and three, it's just a pain trying to fix everything together. Okay, so where I paid $400 on this suit, and then spent another extra say $100 on shipping it. Altogether it came to about $600 with taxes and everything. I know if I would have saved up another $400 and put in a little bit on top of that, I could have bought a good KW suit, which I would have had less hassle and would have had fully built by now. But you know, this is why I'm making these videos, is to show you guys who have gone out and bought these cheap suits, you can build them. Okay, they are a pain, but you can build them. You're not going to be 501st approved, let's get that out of the way, but as a good bit of cosplay and to look the real deal, it's going to be good. So now, get back to this. Sorry for moaning on, I always seem to do. I've been trying to figure out which ones match which ones, and I think, yeah, if I remember rightly, I think, yeah, this one was going to go onto this one. Remember, with all my armour I'm overlapping. Okay, so which means that's kind of going to go in like that, and I can smooth that down, I don't mind. And then this side has to be realigned up to like that. Okay, so I think those two go together. Alright, I really do. I think we can get these two together nicely. They will marry up nicely, I think. Okay, so that's those two. And try to keep these in the same order of pieces. I think that will marry up nicely with that one, and then the same here, we could be to marry that up, and then we can work that bit out. Okay, so they are going to be basically my two upper arm bells, but as you can see already, I'm going to have a pretty big job now of trying to get this to stick there. Okay, because of the sizing difference and misshapedness. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to mark out where I think they should go. I'm going to use my trusty vinyl tape to stick it in place. I'm going to try them on, and then if it works I'm going to mark them out, clamp them and glue them. Okay, so let's get that underway. So let's get some of this tape. This stuff is really good, if you can get it. It's vinyl sticky tape. I originally bought it in case I had any malfunctions with my home-built clone armour suit, and it was a great patch-up job for that, and now it's coming great for this. So I'm going to gather about there for that one. Okay, I'm going to stick this into place. Hopefully that holds it now. Okay. Oh, this is all in shot for you now. Is it all in shot? Oh, it isn't really. Okay, I'll move up a little bit. There you go. Sorry about that, guys. I can't really tell where you are. My camera is an outdoor camera, and it's very good, very high quality, but it doesn't have a monitor. So I'm going to line up the top part, not the bottom part, because I can trim that down, but the top part, I don't know. Depends. I'm going to have it on the inside or the outside. Oh, I'm going to line up the top part. Yeah, because I don't like that bit there. There we go. So that's one kind of lined up. We'll try that on in a minute. Right, okay, so after some fitting on my arms and move them around, I think I've got them into the right place. One thing I did find is because the guy who casted these in Fiberglass just had one mould of everything, and so he's kind of just one molded everything, so even though it's a left side, you end up with two lefts, kind of, so you're going to have to try and rearrange this around to get a left and a right, because this is a left one, and then this is kind of a left one as well, so yeah, I don't know what we're going to do, but we should be okay. The front, I said once I stick all this place, I'm going to reshape the bottom piece on both of these to give it a left and right look, or just a unified look. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to try and mark these into place. So the first bit we're going to mark is on the inside. Okay, so I have an inside line. Okay, so I know where they're going to go. Okay, that means that I don't have to interfere with the tape on the outside too much. Okay, so there's my line. I'm going to line on this side as well now. Line. Okay, now I am thinking of cutting some of this off, but I don't know. I think I might leave the whole lot and see if we get a good bond up to there. We'll see how it goes. We might have to epoxy glue it as well. But for now, what we're going to do, since this seems to be the weird one, I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to use my clamps, my vice grip clamps on this. Okay. And again, as usual, I'm using this Japanese made Big Bond, which is supposed to stick everything and anything. Okay. So take my tape off. Stick that to my tripod. You can see this fold apart then once you take it off. And now I've got where my glue is going to go on both sides. I'm going to put my glue on. Oh, before I do this, I always forget to do this. I open these up a bit. The worst thing to do is when you're trying to clamp all this into place and you don't have things. So I'm going to do this one later. Back to that one. For now, I'll do this one. I think I need to buy more glue. Right. Spread this out a bit. Now I did try to use 5-minute epoxy resin on the fiberglass and it didn't work very well to have a good strong bond on it, so this stuff has been working pretty well. All that out the way. I'm going to just put my top back on. Right. Here we go. There we go. Now we've got to slide these into place and clamp them. That's that one I will right into place. There we go, and then I'll clamp that down now. Right, I need to get this top bit into place now. Back. Go, I'm going to do the same with this one now. This is kind of slipping into its natural form, which I'm going to leave. That's going to go there. And this one. Glue off. Oh, there we go. Now, that is it. As you can see now, it's all clamped into place. I'm going to have to sand or fill and sand all these down anyway. So as usual, what's going to happen is we're going to end up putting car filler, a Bondo on these and then sanding. Okay, so for the moment we're just going to leave that there to set. Okay, once that's done, I'll get the second one done and then we'll bring you back just before we start bonding and see if we need any more sanding to be done. Okay, so I'll bring you back then. Okay, so these two pieces now have been glued together. I've given them a good 48 hours each to set before I took the clamps off. So they're well together now, but as you can see there's a lot of overhang which I need to smooth out. So this side's fine. I'm going to cover that up with filler. This bit needs to be trimmed down, I think, maybe, I'm not too sure. Yeah, just a little bit smooth bit there. These bits definitely have to be sorted out at the bottom. I need to make some shaping into these. Okay, now as I said, as I keep saying, I'm sorry I keep going over it, but like, these are two of the same mould, so there isn't a lot right and a left. They're just, by the looks of it, they're both lefts. And I'd say the front piece came from a different mould to the back one, so they don't line up properly. Okay, so my job today is basically to find some way of trimming this back on both sides and making a new shape into them. Okay, so that's what I'm doing today. Unlike the good quality ones that you're going to get from KW Design or something like that, these don't have a lower piece on one side to go under your arm, so I might need to do that as well. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's our job today. Okay, a little update. I had left these for about, I think, 4 days before I decided to sand them. I just sanded them down, and they've turned out pretty nice. As you can see, look at that. There you go. They are doing pretty well. Okay, I've put some sealant in here as well because there was a bit of a gap which I didn't want, so I sealed it up. Okay, this is the other one. Filled in all the gaps, again put sealant in on the inside and sanded down the outsides. Now I know a lot of people say it's not perfect, but that's actually the epoxy, not epoxy, the enamel underneath poking through. Okay, that's what that is. It's the epoxy plastic underneath there that's poking through in it. So what I'm going to do now, these have had a wash and they've been dried, and I'm going to give them their first coats of paint. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come back to you now once I've given them a few coats of paint. Okay. Okay, so I've given these two now 2 coats of paint. Alright, and I've let them dry. As you can see, it's not too bad. It's not absolutely perfect, but I'm fine with that. That's that one. There you go. Looking pretty good. One, two, looking pretty good. Some dents there, but I'm not too worried. They'll turn into battle marks. Okay, now what I've started to cover my Armour in is Plasti Dip. Okay, you all know Plasti Dip, spray on Plasti Dip. Okay, I found we can get this here in Japan, and the reason why I'm covering my stuff in Plasti Dip is for two reasons. One is that I find that when one part of the Armour is rubbing against the next, it starts to chip and take lumps out of the paintwork. Okay, so to stop that and to protect the actual fiberglass as well, the Plasti Dip puts a nice filament of plastic on it, which gives it a lovely texture, and it stops then the pieces from chipping each other. And then of course, if in the future if I want to, I can actually just peel off the Plasti Dip as well and recoat the fiberglass itself, so it's not actually doing any damage to it. If it does pull up any of the paint, it's still not too much of a big problem, but it's a great way of giving some extra protection to my Armour. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put a few coats of Plasti Dip on, and it should be as good to go. Yeah, I'm really happy the way these turned out now. I really am. They've turned out really nice. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. We're going to put some Plasti Dip. Right guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put the Sergeant Command Green onto this, onto these parts, okay, because these are the first parts that I'm making that will need the green spray on, so I'm going to do that now. And so basically the green that I'm using this time, the last time I used an olive drab from Tamiya, I think it's Tamiya, the makers of different kind of kits and model kits, and I thought it was a bit too dark. A lot of people said it was a very dark olive green and it didn't match. Some people said it was fine, I don't know. So I've just picked this up today from my local hardware store, and it's the first time I've seen this here in Japan in this colour, because it usually goes very quickly. Now what colour green this is, I'm not too sure, because it does not state it on the front anyway. It just says ultra flat colours, blends with terrain, non-reflective, bonds with plastic, any angle spray, but it does not give a colour. Okay, so I don't know what colour green this is, and at the back they have covered it with Japanese instructions, as you can see. Now I can peel this off, but unfortunately when I do, it basically, yeah, it sticks, and it still doesn't say what colour it is. Dun dun dun. Was the label's gone? The label came off with it. Oh, hang on. Oh, it says Army Green. There we go. This is the Army Green. I can just barely read it backwards. The original label. I don't know if you can see that in the light. It says, yeah, 1920 Army Green. Okay, so that's the colour I'm using. I want to see how that turns out. Okay, so first thing I've got to do is mask off my pieces. So I'm going to move this around, show you what I'm doing. Show you a little hint. A lot of people go out and they buy, they buy lots of masking tape and they cover their pieces in bucket masking tape. And I used to do the same. I used to go out and I used to cover it in shitloads of masking tape. Then I've seen somebody do a wonderful piece. Hang on, which am I going to use for my right and left? Yeah, I remember now. Okay, that's going to be my left one, so we're right. I seen a guy do a wonderful piece, and basically all he did was use one strip of masking tape, and then the rest of it was plastic bag. And I thought that was a frigging great idea. So I am going to copy the same. You make a straight line out your plastic bag. Okay, you get it to where you want to cover it, which is about, now according to the 501st website, it's supposed to be 1.5 inches in. Okay, which is not dead center, it's a little bit off dead center basically, on the piece. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit off center. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that now. So let's line that up if I can. I get my masking tape. I'm going to put this on dead center. And then I get my masking tape be a little bit off dead center, like so. Stick plastic bag underneath. There we go. Now, there we go. Hopefully it's not going to pull up my Plasti Dip. I don't think it will. My Plasti Dip has been curing for a few days, so it should hold it a little bit better. A bit for the front. Yep. Again, this side, plus about 1/2 inch. In front. Again, I'm going to try to straighten this up as I can. Yeah, there we go. And then you just wrap the rest of it inside. Okay. So wrap it round a little more. There we go. Okay. So that's ready to go for that one. So I'm just going to get the other one ready now, and then we'll start painting. This stuff dries super quick, so let's have a look to see how this looks now. Hopefully this comes off okay. It doesn't pull my Plasti Dip with it. A bit of stickiness there, but I don't really mind that. That's going to dirty up nice. There we go, look at that. Can't say anything, that looks friggin' sweet. That does. That looks sweet. Okay, put that in there. Let's see how this one turns out. Okay, pretty good. Looks big. Oh, there was a hole in the bag, look, that too. It's alright. Okay, well, it's my fault for not checking the bag. There was a hole in the bag. There's a bit of paint there. Don't worry about that, we'll be fine. So there we have it. That's basically my two pieces. And that green is friggin' awesome. Here we go. Okay. Right, so there you have it. That's my 2 shoulder pieces all done. I think they've turned out friggin' amazing. I have nothing more really to do with them now. The only thing I need to do now is probably put some padding on the inside and back to make them fit a little bit better, stop them wobbling about, and I do have to put some Velcro in, which we'll talk about in a later video. But I'd just like to thank everybody who's been liking and subscribing to my channel, and everyone who's been leaving me some lovely positive comments. If you want to chat with me, do leave me a comment, or you can pop over to my Facebook page. You can find me quite easily. Just type in Rogue Clone Trooper and you'll find my page, and you can contact me there. I'm happy to help anybody and talk about what I am doing. So again, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for watching right to the end, and as always, may the Force be with you.